Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, we're the brothers here out of Great Millstone, Atlanta. All right, first and foremost, we want to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakakodash.
double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim that are pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, now this is going to be a lesson. It's going to be somewhat of an open forum. All right, but we've got a couple articles that we're going to focus on. One of them concerning America's debt. All right, and we'll probably just go straight into the article and, of course, bring out precepts as we usually do. I know you got the article.
Yeah, this is from shithitsthefanflame.com. The title of the article is 40 states are drowning in debt, just like the federal government. And this is published on October 1st, 2019. It says, as the United States government continues to pile up debt, most states are following in its footsteps. Total state government debt now stands at $1.49 trillion, with 40 states lacking sufficient funds to pay their bills according to Truth Accounting.
Yeah, because what's going on is basically the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund, right? They're the ones that are. The states basically get their money from the IMF. Okay, so over time, a state basically, really all the states are in an enormous amount of debt. Okay, what does it say? 40?
It says 40 states.
Yeah, which really is all 50, because America tried to create this idea where all the states are separate, but they're all under America. So in other words, if America goes down, if the whole of America goes down, the American economy, that's going to affect all the states. So okay, you can say, yeah, this state is bankrupt, this state is doing pretty good, but ultimately they're all connected to the same money source,
Right.
okay? Which America as a whole is in debt. Which matter of fact, let me pull up the debt clock. All right, the debt clock, national debt clock is right now. Let's see, 22.8 trillion. All right, and it's constantly climbing. All right, which it said the state debt collectively is what, 14 trillion?
It says 1.49 trillion.
1.49 trillion. Which this is just lowball numbers. We know it's a lot higher. But yeah, so this is what's going on. America is basically in debt. It's this whole system is created off of debt. All right, that's how Esau has set up America. Is through just a long pattern of IOUs, man. So anybody, y'all bring it out.
I got a scripture. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6. Should not all these, so like, I'm gonna go up a verse 5. Yea, also because, I'll start at folks like, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. It's talking about Esau. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, and his wine is democracy, his philosophies, different doctrines that's spread throughout the earth to have him try to look like everybody to look like the image of the United States. That's why he's trying to have women over there, Saudi Arabia, certain countries over there in the east, to have the women driving and want to wear the pants and stuff like that. But the mother nations are growing against that. It says, neither keepeth at home who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death.
Yeah, and it says, it says, neither keep it at home. So he's all across the earth spreading that democracy like we went into, and he's spreading his debt. You got it.
Yeah, that's beautiful, because I was going to say something along the same lines. Just Captain Moyala, it said he go up abroad, and that's in this time to what the brother said earlier about this whole system being built off of debt, because they pretty much implemented a system in which they're creating debt, and these other countries have bought into that debt. So pretty much they bought into that system, and that's how he's one way, and he's been enabled to spread his wine or his doctrine and philosophy abroad. But that's quickly going to turn on him because he's built the system. When you build a system off debt, it gets to a point you have to actually pay it. But he's Esau Edom being so greedy, and just like his desires be as hell, is being so greedy that it's impossible for him to pay his debt, and that's why the countries are going to turn on him and ultimately destroy this country.
Like you see that going on right now with Ecuador, how they owe, they're under that system under the IMF, and right now there's all types of sedition going on. So this whole debt-based system created by Esau is soon to backfire, and the last country, is America.
Mm-hmm. Got it, bro.
And is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
Yeah, and heapeth unto him all people, gathereth unto him all nations, because you got the Rothschilds, which are the wealthiest banking family, all right. And as a matter of fact, I can't remember which interview, but it was an interview basically where can't remember which Rothschild, but basically, you know how you watch a news report. You know how someone's they're doing an interview, and on the bottom it'll show the little tagline of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
The tagline for whatever Rothschild was speaking, it said "country financing." So these are people that finance countries, okay? And this is how a country, because you would think, how the hell can a major ass country get in debt? Well, you got these country financiers. You got these financiers from these wealthy elite banking families that will basically give out loans. The same way we go get a loan from the bank, okay, for our small needs. Countries got to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even in time of war too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Especially in times of war.
Yep. And which we know that the Rothschilds, really all the banking families, they financed World War II, both sides of the war.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with every country, there's someone that's funding. There's someone behind it that's providing the money for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that debt has to be paid back. Okay, no one's gonna lend you something with the intention of just you not paying them back. It doesn't work like that.
I got something on the International Monetary Fund, kind of basic Wikipedia search, just a little something.
Mm-hmm.
It says the International Monetary Fund, IMF, also known as the Fund, is an international organization headquartered in Washington, D.C., consisting of 189 countries working to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, and reduce poverty around the world while periodically depending on World Bank for its resources.
Yeah, the World Bank, which you have a World Bank, which I believe is in London. But this is what's called globalization.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you go into economics, there's a term called globalization where basically all the countries are under one power structure, one system, and that's what's going on. It's clear to see that all these countries are connected via this dollar. Okay, that's the world regional currency, and what's going on is, of course, there's division. The scriptures say, if the nation be divided, how shall this kingdom stand? So that's basically, what's going on. All right, and it's money is the how they say the love of the money is the root of all evil. Mm-hmm. Money is the basis of this whole problem, as far as the so-called white man's kingdom. The main issue is money, okay? Or I would say, as far as economics go, you know.
Yeah, because really, money in itself isn't bad, because money is actually good in a righteous sense,
And money's
especially,
defense.
mhm,
Oh, sorry.
especially when it's a fair money system. You see what I'm saying? Because really, money is supposed to substitute for resources. Like, you know, say you have 100 head of cattle, or you have, you know, whatever the, you know, lumber or something like that. But you can either sell it to someone who can take it somewhere else, or instead of transporting it, you convert it to money. So then when you travel and go somewhere, you can utilize that money. But because of, like Kevin was speaking about, the love of money is the root of all evil. Because Esau wants to heap all riches for himself, and he's polluted and corrupted the monetary system. He's designed it to only benefit him, and which money is actually supposed to serve the people.
Yep. That's right. Anybody have something?
I'm gonna still finish on that.
Okay.
This is verse 6. Should not all these take up a parable against them, and a taunting proverb against them? And you seen the YouTube last year, Turkey was burning the dollar bill on camera, live streaming, I think on RT. And the rest of these other nations too. They want real resources instead of this paperback, this green paperback. And it says, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
Yeah, because that's how the so-called white man got into power, is through deception. You know, through gaining goods that weren't, through stealing. That's stealing.
Yeah.
You know, just to put it plainly, you know. So that's how the so-called white man got into power. Just like how he benefited off of slavery. He's still benefiting off of slavery to this day. He basically increased that which is not his, right? Basically kept taking. And you know what's crazy is, this devil took everything, he stole everything, and he's in debt. That don't even make sense.
Esau's an idiot.
That don't even make sense. I got some. We done on that?
Verse 7 then.
Got
That's it. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and shall be for booties unto them?
Yeah. So America's gonna get spoiled, right? Because well, really, the so-called white man in general is gonna get spoiled, okay? Because because of this reason right here. I got it right here. Sirach 10:8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Okay, so because of these reasons, unrighteous dealings, injuries, riches got by deceit, like we said, that's how the so-called white man got into power, and hey, that's gonna be his downfall. You know, y'all brothers got it.
I got something just in that same chapter too. Sirach 10:4. An unwise king destroyed his people. And we see that going on with Esau, man. He's destroying the people with this debt-based system. But through the prudence of them which are in authority, that's the wrong one. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set it over one that is profitable. So he's going to set up the elect, all right, that's going to be profitable, because like the brother was mentioning, like the cap was mentioning, you know, Esau's in his debt, but he's got all these riches. That doesn't add up. That's like an unjust balance.
I got some.
Got it.
This is Isaiah 10, and I'm going to start at verse 15. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith, or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it? As if the rod shall shake itself against them that lift it up, or as if the staff should lift up itself as if it were no wood. And one thing that, you know, these elites don't understand, they think that they, you know, have just, you know, created this whole system, and it's just off their own, you know-it-all. Well, actually, Yahweh has used them as a tool to bring forth this wicked society in which they have the power now. But it's just at the end of the day, Yahweh using the elect, and with Yahweh being the headship, it's just going to destroy this country and destroy the system to magnify the name and glory of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and then to bring upon righteousness, man. Continuing on, Isaiah 10 and 16. Therefore shall the Lord of hosts, send among his fat ones leanness, and under his glory he shall kindle a burning like the burning of a fire. So in the midst of, just like it's written up in the book of Job, when these elites are going to believe completely fill their belly and believe that they're going to fully implement their new world order system, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to send leanness, and that's what we see happening now. Like the brothers are going into this system being built off of debt and robbery and treachery and deceit, but debt isn't sustainable. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, with debt, you're supposed to get in and get out, get in and get out. If you're going to go into debt, you're supposed to utilize that to outgrow the debt you're going to go into, and then when your growth overcomes that debt, get out of debt. But Esau just continuously just pouring on more debt, pouring on more debt, pouring on more debt. And as he's done that, he's been building his military for when that day, just like the captain brought out in Habakkuk 2, when the weak pretty much chant a parable against them, really beginning with the elect. You know, chant that parable, and then the weak nations are made strong. He's built his military up. In the meantime, like, all right, come get it then.
Yeah.
Like,
And
go ahead.
if I could say, that's the oldest. That's a trick that people play, is they'll use one debt to buy off another debt.
Mm-hmm.
So like, just like how people do with credit cards, you get one credit card and you get in debt, then you go get another credit card to pay off that credit card, and then now it's just a never-ending cycle of, you know, you basically borrowing and being in debt. So that's the condition of America. It's a never-ending debt cycle. All right. Was
A little bit more.
okay. Let me go back to the article.
This is Isaiah 10, 10 and 17. And the light of Israel shall be for a fire, and his Holy One for a flame, and it shall burn and devour his thorns and his briars in one day, and shall consume the glory of his forest and of his fruitful field, both soul and body, and they shall be as when a standard bearer fainteth. You see, so, you know, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, is, through the sacrifice of Yahushua, is loosing the seals of the book, and the Holy Spirit is continuously building the elect. That's why even it speaks about, and shall consume the glory of his forest and of his fruitful field, both soul and body. Because this place is crumbling first and foremost spiritually, man. Okay, because it was built off of spiritual perverseness, man. It was built off of left-hand energies, in which that's wicked. They built a system and society off pure wickedness, man. So it's spiritually dying, and then it's spiritually crumbling through the truth and the Holy Spirit. Okay, and the balance of prophecy of the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to end up crumbling also in the physical, man. And that's happening as we speak.
All right, that was good. We'll go back to this article. So it says, unfunded pension liabilities are the primary factor driving the pileup of state debt. According to the report, one of the ways states make their budgets look balanced is by shortchanging public pension and OPEB, another post-employment benefit funds. This practice has resulted in $824 billion shortfall in pension funds and $664.6 billion shortfall in OPEB funds. And we would just bring out this article before we got on camera about one of the companies that's freezing pensions is GE, General Electric. It says General Electric is pulling the plug on its pension plan, and that's a surefire way to derail workers' retirement plan.
Yeah, and just imagine you've been working with this company for 30 plus years, and you get to the age of retirement, and they cut it off right as soon as you get your retirement, you're eligible. They cut it off. Nope, we're not giving it to you. And you just worked you worked your ass off for 30 years. They've promised you this whole time you're gonna get a pension, this and that, and then they cut it off. You know, that's enough to make someone go crazy, man. Hell yeah.
Especially after 30 years. You a Jake too? Man, Jake is looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Even the family.
And that's gonna be the same thing that happened with these federal government, these federal entitlement programs, man. Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, all this stuff they're all built off of IOUs, and it was a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme, and it's been known for years that the system is unsustainable, but people still trusted in their oppressors, man.
It says TIA founder, we'll go back to the article, I'm not sure it's a fan. TIA founder and CEO Sheila Weinberg said for many states there is no easy way out of their fiscal mess. Many of these state governments have no hope of achieving a budget recovery, barring significant program cuts or tax hikes, said Weinberg, and don't expect any states to begin cutting back. Instead, you'll be expected to pay for whatever the government demands in the form of higher taxes. Enjoy your freedom. And then Peter Schiff goes on. It says that Schiff Gold wrote, I guess it's from Peter Schiff. In simple terms, if you're depending on a fat government pension to fund your retirement dreams, your golden years could turn into a nightmare. As we reported, you probably shouldn't assume any government pension will ever be paid.
Yeah, you shouldn't. If you come across this video and you just living your life, like live your life planning on all hell breaking out any moment. But I'm just speaking about like financially, live your life and don't be counting on no type of retirement social program. Like you gotta plan your shit like it's just you. But with all that being said, like I said, really first and foremost, your eyes should first be on getting right with your How Shem Shai, man.
That's right, that's right. Yep. I got an article too, real quick. It's basically national debt explained off of theweek.com. It says, why does the U.S. owe so much? Apart from a 4-year stretch during the economic boom of the late 1990s, the federal government has run a budget deficit every year since 1970. In 2017, the shortfall was $666 billion. The national debt, and that goes to show you Esau be into witchcraft.
Yep.
The national debt is now slightly larger than the size of the entire U.S. economy, equal to 106% of the country's gross domestic product. Overall, the Congressional Budget Office expects the national debt to surpass $30 trillion by the year 2028.
$30 trillion.
It says, as Medicare and Social Security costs soar to cover aging baby boomers, outgoing Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen has warned that the country's growing debt could eventually become unsustainable, which it already is. It's already at the point of no return. It says it's the type of thing that should keep people awake at night. And it says anyway, I'll keep going. It says, why is it a problem? Like any credit card user, the government must pay interest on its debt for much of the past decade. And like I said, really, this whole debt is the same concept as a credit card. It's basically the same thing. It's just on a higher level. And it says,
you know what's crazy? Like with credit, really, most companies, most situations, you can't use debt to pay debt. Meaning you can't make a credit card payment using another credit card. You have to actually provide money to pay off a debt. But that goes to the corruptness of Esau's system because his money is debt. He's literally using debt to pay debt. He's using debt to finance debt to pay debt.
That's right. And as a matter of fact, the United States credit rating is declining, man. You know, because you actually have a country credit rating, just the same way we have credit. You know, these countries have credit, and I believe it says in 2011, it went from a AAA to a AA. All right, so it's losing its credit.
Yeah.
It says net interest payments on the debt represented 6.8 of the federal budget in 2017. Let me get to the point. Let me see. Let me see. Well, listen to this, and then we'll go to the next. But it says, no, it says, is everyone worried? No, economists point out that debt can be used to fund important investments, such as stimulating the economy during a recession or fighting unavoidable wars. So they're telling you that there's a war. And that's one reason that America keeps putting more, keep making more money, is because they know that they're about to go to war. It says the nation's debt is also wildly different from a household's budget because the government can print its own money and has a theoretically infinite lifespan to pay off its obligations. See that? So that goes to show you that this money is just being printed out of thin air. It's not. It's fictional.
Yeah.
This debt is like really. Everything that this money that we use in exchange, this is all just an illusion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Try to jump over there.
You got something?
Yeah, I got something right quick. This is Micah chapter 6, verse 10. Are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable? Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances, and with the bag of deceitful weights? For the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. And that scant measure is that Federal Reserve note, which, the fiat currency, which is based off of people's beliefs. I think the gold standard was took out the dollar, was it the 30s?
Yeah, it was
33.
It didn't really come into reality till
70s,
1970.
yeah, to the 70s. So
Nixon.
yeah, this is what people believe in, and that the government, as we keep mentioning, you can go to the Federal Reserve. There's the Federal Reserve in Atlanta, and brothers have been there numerous times, where you can get a bag full of shredded up dollar bills. So it goes to show you that this money system, this dollar that Esau is hoping in, and that people believe in, it's gonna fall, man, because you got other countries like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa that are trading by gold, the gold standard. So it's going to be pretty soon that this dollar is still strong. Don't get me wrong, it's still strong, but at some point in time, this dollar is going to crumble.
The only reason the dollar is strong is because other countries are weaker.
And the powers that be that's behind the currency is causing the American dollar to continue.
The dollar, like what the apostles and elders bring out for years, the dollar is a fiat currency, man. It's not backed by anything. And the only reason, like the brother said, the dollar is strong because it's strong relative to the other fiat currencies. But these other, the leaders of these other countries are reinventing their systems to strengthen their own currencies, man.
And to X out the dollar. You know? You keep going?
Oh, I was on that.
Oh, okay.
I got a scripture. This is James chapter 5, verse 1.
Yep.
Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that should come upon you. And all the ones who is profiting off this debt is the bankers' family, because they caused the debt. It says, your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eating. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and should eat your flesh as it were fire. And the canker and the rust of the riches is his debt. It's cutting off his family line. The Rothschild is the head of the nation of Esau or Edom, but Esau that's over here in America, they're suffering from that. So they divided against each other. And it says right here, it says, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. and the cries of them which have weep are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. And that's what we're doing right now. We're crying about the injustice of the rulership, Esau.
Right.
And that you in debt, and the Most High caused you to be in debt. But the bankers thinking they go to trick the Most High ultimately, because the other people who has a veil over their eyes, not seeing where the debt's coming from and what the end game of this whole debt system game.
Mm-hmm.
The Rothschilds, they be thinking that their new world order is going to be ushered in when they tear down their main currency, which is America, and they just going to live off. I don't know if they're going to have a gold standard in the new world order, but
Now the standard will be the chip.
yeah, the standard's going to be the standard's going to be the chip. So all these other nations, yeah, they gathering their riches and stuff like that, but it's not going to be how they think it's going to be the outcome or the outlook. Like America is going to flourish up from World War I, World War II. Nah, after this war is no more wars, and Israel is going to be the top echelon after this.
Right.
So yeah, brother, yeah.
I got some, Job 20 and 15. He'll swallow down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast them out of his belly. Yeah, so the so-called white man has just like we've been going into, okay, he's basically, taking all the earth's resources by deceit. All right, and actually I got that same article I was reading, and there was a point I wanted to bring out. It says, has the U.S. always been in debt? It says, President Andrew briefly paid off the national debt in 1835, partly with proceeds from lands seized from Native American tribes. That's the devil for you, man.
Right. That's
Because-
another debt.
That's another debt.
It's like,
Well, he basically used stolen lands to pay off the debt, man. That goes to show you, man, you can't deny that this man is not the devil.
Right.
You know?
And they go into the Greek too, because really at that point, if they would have just built the system up a correct way, so to speak, they would have been alright. But then, after
well,
that,
Andrew Jackson knew that. He was trying to do
that's
that.
what he was trying to do.
That's why I say, well, he shrunk down the debt of America because he didn't want to pay the bankers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then soon thereafter, man, in a matter of years, man, that debt just went back up, and then it got to a point where it just started climbing.
Especially after Roosevelt, all them other presidents, because they was following. They had no choice but to follow the agendas of
The predecessor.
the predecessors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of it was war debt, going into war, like
American
war,
Revolution.
yeah, War of 1812. You had the
Or they were fighting against Reuben.
Yeah, the Seminole War,
yeah, Seminole Wars, and of course Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam. I mean, it's all because that's how their system is. That's their gift. That's their blessing. The gift of the sword. So for them to continue to have their enterprise prosper, they got to utilize their blessing. On the left hand side, the same what we use on the right hand side.
And war is money.
Yeah.
That's why they keep going to war, because that's how America gets rich. That's their scheme. That was pretty much the point. Y'all got anything
I
else?
got something. Okay, this is Ezekiel 25, and I'm gonna start at verse 12. Ezekiel 25 and 12. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shai, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shai, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of the Dan shall fall by the sword. And this is going to also, in a sense, these allegiances too. You know, like Teman, Edom representing Esau, Edom. Okay, and then it says, speaking about the Dan, where if you go to Ezekiel 27 and 15, the men of the Dan were thy merchants. Many hours were the merchandise of thine hand. They brought thee for a present horns of ivory and ebony. See, so just like the captain was speaking about also globalism, in which these heathens are pretty much joined themselves to this Edomite system and doctrine by that wine and transgression written up in Habakkuk the 2nd chapter. And that's going to be ultimately when they turn on Esau Edom, they're pretty much fighting over carnal shit, man.
Obadiah,
Yeah,
those that eat their bread with these should
get it.
go up against
Yeah,
them.
get that. Because you know, and that's why this is really this World War III being the war to end all war to end all wars. It goes to show you that this is with that being the last war. Okay, that goes to show you that pretty much every nation is fighting and battling to be the next rulers.
Right.
But in which we understand who actually has the gift through prophecy to rule. It's the Israelites. So, and that's, man, it's beautiful because, you know, even like we speak about the true underdog story. We are just men on the street corners with books telling y'all what's happening, what's getting ready to happen, giving you the stats, statistics, schematics.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because we're fighting a spiritual war in the midst of all this carnality and wickedness, people don't even account those labors. But through those exact labors, when the prophecies of this book are fulfilled, y'all gonna see that we're the supreme warriors, man. Because we fighting with weaponry that y'all can't even perceive through the spirit.
Can't even see the
You
way.
can get that out, bro.
Sure. Obadiah chapter 1 verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Verse 7. Well, we just sought them up. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding them.
And they're going to show you that these other countries, even though they've been partaking in this Edomite system, they've been plotting against y'all pasty asses for decades,
Oh, hell yeah.
if not longer.
They want revenge on them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Japan just all of a sudden trade upon America.
Yeah, and right now they're just playing along. That's all they're doing. They're just playing the game. But in the back of their mind, like, man, as soon as this happens, man, I'm fucking turn on the ass.
You see them in them bad guy movies and stuff like that. The bad guy be the villain. Then the other ones, they just break apart. They just go against each other.
Because everybody wants to be the top dog.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't something where, oh yeah, you know, we're just gonna be in America forever. All these countries want to be on top.
Right.
You know, they want to take over. What country wouldn't want to basically, you know, take over? So they're just gonna play the game under America until they, you know, get to a certain point, and then they're gonna turn their backs on them. You know.
See, and our people are so beaten down and pretty much trodden underfoot. They don't see they have a fighting chance in this battle. Of course, everybody's lot isn't going to be on the front lines on the battlefield, but you have a part to join yourself to the winning team. But it's just a matter of really Yahweh Shah opening your eyes to that fact and to that truth, and then to you humbling down, honestly, that the men of the Lord, the supreme spirits that are residing on earth, are just pretty much average everyday men, man. You know, I got a little bit more. Ezekiel 25, I'm going to reread 13. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh Shai, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and I will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of the Dan shall fall by the sword. So it goes to show you too that these other heathens that are joined to Esau and that will eventually turn on Esau, y'all ain't gonna win either. The only winning team is gonna be of the nation of Israel, man.
Right.
Verse 14, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. See that vengeance, that payback, man. Okay, in which it's going this economic collapse is going to lead to a lot of social and political unrest, in which you gonna have people, you gonna have Americans fighting against Americans, man. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be blood and treachery and a lot of pain and death in these streets. And Yahweh Shemai Shai is going to use not people of everyone, all right, to bring that upon, but also Jake, man. Jake gonna be out here getting in against these devils, man.
Right.
Because all this, even like brothers going into all this, the way this system was built off of stealing from the people. And when the people actually, and you already see the beginnings of it now, people are waking up to what's going on out here. But when our people really wake up and be like, damn, like these motherfuckers trying to kill us, man.
Mm-hmm.
And they trying to, if Lord willing, they get the understanding of the mark of the beast and like what that means, like the connotation of that, and how they trying to really take their spirit, man. It's gonna be a lot of people gonna understand it.
This bond should be broken off Jake, Jeremiah 30 verse 7 on down. That the Lord's gonna take that blind veil off Jake, but it's gonna be too late because it said thy people should be willing to bear thy power.
Right.
And we speak about this, and probably in soon for the essence of time, but this is gonna lead to more and more prophecies, man. Like the nation rise against nation, a house against house. It's gonna lead to so much more. But something like this, through the Spirit, we brought it out because it should be crystal clear that this system cannot sustain. So when it does fall, what happens next? That should be the takeaway that the viewer leaves is, okay, when this actually happens, and you can't deny it at this point. When this economic collapse happens, what happens next, man?
Right. That's right. Yeah. So, hey, anybody have any closing precepts or points? Con. Hey, so yeah, overly edified. All right. Like the brother said, look forward to more prophecies and destruction, especially concerning the dollar, and that's why we watch economics. That's why we watch these things, because we're watching it. All right, and it's important to follow these things because this place is on its way out. So anyway, we're gonna close out by giving all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to all the Akim of Krishna, the truth. Shalom.